Second.
Motion.
Now we'll roll call. Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
And Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Agenda's approved. The next item is approval of the consent agenda.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion, second.
And I will roll call. Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye.
And Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. In our business before the board, we have a new resolution that's from the state and the feds, which is going to simplify things. Right, Allison?
Sounds simple to me, just the two together.
I mean, instead of doing two separate things, you're going to be able to do one now. So that is in your packet. Any questions?
So what, does the state comptroller just reviews everything?
Basically, I put the amendments in the plan, they approve it, which I usually do anyways.
Right.
Prior.
So nothing really,
And then that way you all don't have to, with having this resolution, you don't have to approve any amendments for the federal.
don't have to approve any kind of funding? I got you.
They're gonna take care of it ahead of time.
It only applies to the federal projects though.
Okay. All right.
I make a motion we approve.
Motion,
Second.
second.
And I will roll call. Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
And Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye. Motion carries. Our next item is just budget amendments, and they are federal. And it's just simply cleaning up, getting it spent for the end of the year.
We lost money in one and then got money in another, so that's why.
Yeah.
I make a motion we approve these budget amendments.
Second.
And I will roll call. Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross. Mark Matthews.
Aye.
And Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our next item is memorandums of understanding between Tennessee College of Applied Technology and Derek Klein Behavioral Health. These are both just standard, we have to approve every year.
I'll make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
And I will roll call. Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
And Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is the pay scale, certified and non-certified. It's in your packet.
I make a motion we approve the certified and non-certified pay scales.
Motion,
Second.
second.
And I will roll call. Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
And Dr. Nancy Williamson.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is permission to utilize pre-negotiated agreements - co-op in lieu of bid process. This is CDW Government LLC and its technology.
JT, is that either technology?
Clayton and
Who's the-
Matt.
Clayton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Matt.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I make a
Anything
motion.
to
Yeah.
simplify the bid process.
Yeah, it makes it easier on
Yeah.
them.
I make a motion we approve it.
Motion,
And I will roll call. Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
Dr. Nancy Williamson.
aye.
And Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is permission to put out the surplus school bus 2012.
Is that Joe's bus? Or is it
Oh,
his?
Joe drives a Uber, don't he?
I know, but it's the one
Usually
Joe
referred to
uses.
as
Probably.
That's the only one we let Sean drive.
It's Sean's bus.
Why don't you just bid on it, Sean?
Taking his ride.
Like $200
I spent a lot of time in it.
So does that mean you don't get to drive a bus anymore?
I hope.
No, he just gets a new one.
Then I make a motion we do this.
Motion,
Second.
And I will roll call. Dr. Nancy Williamson.
aye.
Mark Matthews.
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross.
Aye.
And Dorothy Watson.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is the supplemental pay amendment for the coaches for attending the mandatory coaching clinic. We discussed this earlier, and now it's in the minutes.
Who's coming for that? Do you
All
have
of our
speakers?
Yes, yeah.
Who's the speakers?
Heath Erlinger, is that Eslinger?
Esslinger.
Eslinger.
It's Heath Esslinger from
It's through our program, A Better Way.
Better Way Athletics.
That's what we have, A Better
Okay.
Way.
And this is a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already got it sort of
Oh, it's already,
mapped out,
yeah, it's
and we're
sent
ready
out.
to roll.
When is it?
17th,
17th this month?
yes.
Can I come?
Yes, sir.
Can I sit with you?
Yes, sir.
You can't get paid.
I wasn't gonna ask
Let
that.
me clarify.
That will be two of us.
Can you feed me?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Sean!
Finger food, maybe.
6 to 8:30.
Okay. I'll make a motion for that supplemental amendment for mandatory coaches meeting.
Motion, second.
And I will roll call. Dorothy Watson,
Aye.
Dr. Nancy Williamson,
Aye.
Mark Matthews,
Aye.
and Dr. Danny Cross.
Motion carries. Our next item is letters of resignation. Stacy Marler, OHS teacher, David Blevins from Oneida Middle School boys soccer, Nisha Hurst, OES teacher, Marilyn Seabolt, nurse, and Leanne Knudsen, OMS teaching assistant.
I make a motion we accept these letters of resignation.
Motion,
Second.
And I will roll call. Dorothy Watson,
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross, Mark Matthews,
Aye.
and Dr. Nancy Williamson.
aye. Motion carries. And then we have 2 leave of absence requests, Madison Crowley, July through September 2nd, and Ashley Phillips, August, end of August through the end of October
I think that's actually gonna be end of July.
for,
I'll change that date.
How about we just put to be determined, guys? Can I just
okay,
change it?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And we'll fix that.
Okay.
Thanks, Jordan. Allison, will you let Julie know?
Do I hear a motion we
I'll
approve
make a
this?
motion to approve these.
I second.
Motion second,
And I will roll call. Mark Matthews,
Aye.
Dr. Nancy Williamson,
aye.
Dorothy Watson,
Aye.
and Dr. Danny Cross.
Motion carries. And then the last item is 3 fundraisers. Mum flower sale for FFA and OMS football, the month of September. OHS girls soccer car wash, and OHS girls soccer calendar. Do I hear a motion we approve these 3 fundraisers?
I make a motion we approve these 3 fundraisers.
Second.
Motion second,
And I will roll call. Dorothy Watson,
Aye.
Mark Matthews,
Aye.
Dr. Danny Cross,
Aye.
and Dr. Nancy Williamson.
aye. Motion carries. That is all the business before the board, and we will hear the director's report.
Okay, so first and foremost, it's not on the director's report, but we just received from Chuck Cagle the Tennessee Code of Conduct that will be put into handbooks. It's in your packet. I'll be honest, I've not had a chance to go through it, but I do have a summary here that Cagle typed for me. But anyway, it just talks about families and volunteers and visitors coming to our schools and kind of the expectations. That is a requirement based on the laws. I mean, I know you guys know that, but that just got released this evening. I tried to edit and add some things in that that's needed, and I'll get that out hopefully to the staff and principals within the next week or so. We'll get that in the handbook. That will have to become a
And it was in the session today that TSB had it.
yes, yeah, that
And
came out.
they commented that this is first copy, and that there'll probably be some updates
Yeah,
to it.
and I think you guys have it in your packet.
You do.
Yeah, it's in the
Katie put
folder.
it in there for you, so Chuck just sent it out like just not long ago. All right, and then also our next board meeting is scheduled for July 4th, and I was gonna check to see if we could change it to July 11th. I don't think anybody wants to do a board meeting on July 4th. Is everybody okay with that?
11 July. right?
Yeah.
Ju-
Versus-
July 11th?
It's the following Thursday.
It's the following Thursday.
Second Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
week
yeah,
later.
which is what we normally do on that
Yeah.
July 4th week. Okay, just making sure. And then, I put a summary in your packet on our central office, staff evaluation goals and summary. Advisory council meeting will be held July the 12th at 12 o'clock. If you guys plan to attend, we'll assign you a scribe role. So let me know for sure tonight before you leave if you're gonna attend, so we can get everything kind of set up for that. It'll be in the lower gym, the Performing Arts Center. Also, we have great news. Finally, after years and years, Oneida Schools is gonna be, CEP. So that'll be, yes, that's awesome for our school district. We've never gotten it, so we're super excited about that. Kids will receive free breakfast, free lunch, and that's huge for families, especially with the cost of living and, all the increases. So that is huge for us. We're so excited. And then summer feeding, I've got the information in there. We started that this week. It's gone good. Always some kinks, with traffic and issues like that, but we've kind of worked through those.
Now, then you have kids
Kids.
countywide.
Oh, yeah, that's all kids. That's not just, that's any kid.
That truly is awesome.
Kinda
That's
like-
for all kids.
Kind of like Family Resource, we try to serve, because they have limited space, so we try to kind of help with all that. So we do all, and it's worked out great. It's a lot of work. I don't know if I'd recommend it, just being honest. But Kathy does a great job,
does.
and so we are taking care of all kids. So, it's not like you have to worry. They are being taken care of, okay? And then, also just an update, we have PPE agreements with WGU and Austin P. As far as and I don't know if anybody will, take some of these, but it's just that sort of grow your own sort of stuff that we always do. And based upon what I learned from Chris, I've always kind of put that in your folders, but y'all weren't supposed to be approving those because that's just an employment thing, helping employees get degrees is all we're doing with that. And so also I put an article in there from Dale Lynch, and then I have some good news. I think it's great news. Dylan Anderson, which is I know y'all seen that. He got a scholarship, grand total $30,000. And that's amazing, guys. Especially, I think he's a first year college student. So if you see him out, make sure you congratulate him. And then, and I want to get to one more thing. And Nancy, Dr. Williamson and Dr. Ross has really headed this up. But Dr. Cross and I were able to go visit Franklin Special School District. By the way, their schools are amazing, of course.
They have lots of money.
Yeah, they do. They have lots of money, but it was just a very nice environment. And do you care to talk about that just for 1
I don't
second?
care a minute. Well, it's impressive, but it's totally subjective. There's no objectivity, and that's going to really irk some people that you can't, you can't test how well they're doing. But boy, the environment would improve right away. I mean, that's great. I think the first one we saw was Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. We saw Wilson
Labradoodle
first.
was working in the middle school there. And they work. These dogs work, they know what they're doing. And the handler doesn't really have to show, they can guide them where they want them to be, but the dogs just work the room. And they were working the hall as the kids were changing class. And this was the next to last day of school. So you can imagine. But these dogs are well trained. And of course we got to see two others, one in the
Sweetie.
library, there wasn't any.
Star
Others,
and yeah.
I don't remember, it wasn't Tobin, there was, I cannot remember that.
Parker and Star.
Parker.
Yeah,
and
Parker
Star.
was in
I
the
remember Star
library.
was the white one, and you can watch these dogs and you can imagine, what you think you can do in your own school system. I can see it right now in the elementary school, especially in the SPED, in that area especially, but I tell you, you can see it these dogs helping, even in our high school. You know, it's, our schools, no matter what we think, no matter where they're at, there is a high level of stress in schools. There always has been, there always will be, in some form, some way. The best you can do, some kids are comfortable no matter what. They are usually the ones who score 36 on their testing or something like that. But there are others who have high capability, but they just cannot do it. Because their stress is so. I just witnessed that in Bible school this week. And the girl they had escaped. And she is a smart little girl. And she's about 12, I guess, and Lizzie. When she comes in, I mean, that face, it just broke your heart to see how sad she was. And boy, how wonderful it was after that skit was over. She was in such stress. And, you know, what can you say? But these dogs, anybody that's ever had a dog, and most people have, and most kids have them at home, they just release stress. And it's a high, you know, stress and anxiety, it's with us all the time. And it's one of the things that, if we can deal with those in our schools early, as Barney said, nip it in the bud. You know, if we can do that, and these dogs can help us, and I do think myself now, it's going to cost some money, and we don't have a lot, but I do think we can afford a dog. And of course, in Franklin, they've got one in every school. They've even got one in the central office. I didn't ask them exactly.
Well, I want one in our central office.
You got one, you gotta bring her. If I would bring her, we'd have.
Unless one of the dogs are absent, sick, or something, and they just, I don't know what they. Of course, it relieves the level of anxiety in the central office.
So get them after school.
Yeah. So I'll
What are you talking about?
I'll pass this card. Now, this is not the ones we saw. This is just one that Dr. Snowden gave me. It's just, he's got cards. It's like trading cards he has of all his dogs.
And they all over the United States, it's in these
Yeah.
cards.
What?
But,
Now, how do they, like, they're handlers, trainers, are they teachers?
It's different, but there's a primary handler and a secondary handler. Say for example, if Dr. Cross is the primary handler and Dr. Williamson's the secondary, if Dr. Cross is going on vacation or somebody gets sick and he has to miss a week of school, well, then that dog goes with the secondary handler. Even the way they told me, even if the teacher misses, like those teachers voluntarily just bring that dog to school and drop it off because that's what it does. Like when it puts its vest on, you can tell. When they put the vest on, it works the room. It works the halls. And I mean, when I say it works, like it goes around and then, like, say for example, if it walks up beside of me and I don't, you know, I'm not real comfortable, it'll just keep moving. It knows not to stop. And then I also ask about the number of kids that they have that are not allowed to be around dogs, because there is that, just like everything else. You know, there's
Some are allergic.
certain, right, yeah.
Even though they're hypoallergenic.
Yeah, hypoallergenic. But anyway, so what they said was, you know, they started out with this list, and they said within a month, like, those kids were coming off that list because they would go home and tell their parents, say, hey, listen, I want to pet Wilson. I'm not allowed to be around him, but I want to pet him. Will you call the school and get my name off? Well, the parents just call them and take them off. And apparently now they don't really have, unless they have new kids coming in, don't really have kids that are not around the dogs. And so, but now there are bad things that happen. Like they had a dog that sadly got cancer, okay? It happens, and so they didn't tell the kids because it was actually in an elementary school. So what they did was they did a huge retirement party, and the kids, I mean, they cry. I mean, it was the last day of school when Dr. Cross and I were there, and some of the especially the autistic kids were kind of struggling because they weren't going to see the dogs, and the teachers were saying that, like but those dogs became a part of those kids' family. And the crazy thing is that during class, it was never a disruption. Like, It was like that dog's just part of whatever's going on. They
So
don't.
does it just go from classroom to classroom?
They consider them a part of the
Now,
staff.
they have to
I don't know
rest.
what but
Yeah, they have to have rest time, you know, between.
I can see where any school system, you know, eventually, I don't know how you can do without therapy support. These are not, you know, I wrote it all down, all the things, they're not like service dogs. Service dogs are trained to, they're a little more aggressive.
Yes.
A true service dog is. These are therapy dogs. These are just good feeling dogs.
Love on you.
Yeah,
And you
they're
can tell
sweet.
right away, they're just, well, we're all familiar with dogs that are that way. Dogs have personalities like people. Some you get along with, some you can't. It's just, and some are so loving, it makes no difference if you like them or not. They're gonna love you.
Yeah.
You don't have to like them, they're gonna love you. And they love the kids.
And like,
You can see it, I
But
mean,
one-
it's just-
one
you have
thing-
to witness it too.
Yeah, I didn't get to go. I had a tick bite. And of course, the medicine was making me very, very sick, and there wasn't any way I could leave and be gone. But even libraries, now I've had some experience with some of the libraries. They have dogs that come in and read with the children. And they said it was amazing how they would sit in this one reading area, and the dog would sit there with them, and they'd sit there, they wouldn't even look at people before, and they would sit there and read to the dog.
It's
And
felt
how
like-
their
One of them.
reading had
Reading
improved.
dog.
It's felt
Yeah,
like it.
it is.
They increase children's ability, their comprehension to, ability to be able to read, you know. That's one of those things that, you know, you'd like to have it be objective, where you can measure it, and
What kind of price?
especially in this,
Do we have money to do this?
well, we do have it in the budget, and it's not really as much as you think. It sounds like a lot. And then we're also, one of the things that they do now, they said they don't ever pay for food or anything because people donate stuff. And I think that in the community, we probably would get that, you know? Like, I think people would buy a bed, a dog.
Who's the one
water
that
bottle.
takes care of the dog?
Well, it gets assigned, you know, and that person has to go through training just like the dog does.
It'll be a member of the staff?
And it's a volunteer.
Really?
Mhm. Has to be a volunteer.
There's a
There are no
handbook in your guys'
supplements in
packet
food.
Yeah,
that
there's a
details.
handbook in there.
They're
Okay.
in the part that's paper clipped, and it
Yep.
kind of outlines everything, like the
It
regulations.
tells it in
and-
detail.
Yeah.
we've got,
But
I don't
Dr.
think it'd be a problem to find
Okay.
the handlers. We
No.
have rabbits and we have guinea pigs that wander around rooms and.
In the high school, we've had blue tick there a lot.
and the children, a lot of times will take care of a lot of, there's kids that will be glad to take care of these dogs during the day, take them outside to do.
And there was one kid that, of course, I know Dr. Cross and Dr. Williamson, you know, this came from TSBA, it came from these two, but when we went to that school, they talked about, like, there's this one kid that's kind of, if he's having a rough time, they'll let him take that dog out to go to the bathroom. And it calms him, you know, and they said that you can't measure it. You know, you can't measure, and Dr. Snowden said that. He said, if you want a number on return on investment, he said, you're not gonna get that. He said, I can't tell you, you know, if a kid that's crying, like, we don't have time to document that they're crying and upset, and because Wilson walked in, he's better, you know?
No, she didn't.
Like, you
Money,
can't.
How much?
cash.
Oh, about 5,000.
That ain't bad.
No, I told
That's
you.
not
it
as much
wasn't.
as I thought. I was
No.
expecting a lot more than that.
At least, what, 2,500, 3,500.
Yeah.
for fees and vet bills.
We'll not discuss
Yeah.
that.
That's right.
There are no
I'm
supplements in
sorry, I should have
Franklin.
answered you.
Well, I just thought it was so much you wasn't going to tell us.
Well, I mean, you know, I know, of course, these are kind of like, when I compare them to Ronnie's dogs at the sheriff's department, like, those are very expensive. Those drug dogs are
30,000.
Oh, God.
30
Yeah,
to
I
40.
bet. I
Yeah,
bet.
but it's not that. I mean, and what happens is, like, say, for example, one dog was assigned to a lady in a wheelchair. Well, something happened as far as it didn't grow tall enough, so it didn't meet that requirements, and so they tried it in a school, and it worked in the school, so.
So are we gonna have, are you saying we're gonna do one
We're starting
right
with
now?
one. Well, I don't know, that's what,
And that
I'm
dog may
asking
not
your
work.
opinion.
It may not work out. that dog.
That's right.
So what do you
They
do?
had some that
You
didn't
send
work
it back?
very well.
Yeah, they send it back. They do it. They'll know. Like this company knows. This is what they do.
So if they bring a dog in, they sell you a dog and it comes in and it don't
They'll just pull it.
G-haul
bring it
with
over.
everybody,
That's what they do.
they replace it.
Because this
You
is
know
a
who
big
does the
thing.
training, don't you?
Who does
The
it?
Tennessee State Prison System.
Yeah.
Really?
They train, these inmates train these dogs. They stay for 2 weeks at a time, and then they come out, they go with the handler for 2 weeks. Then they go back to where their trainer, they're in the prison, for 2 weeks. And I
That's
don't know how
why
many
it's so cheap.
cycles that goes through, but
Yeah.
it's a process. And
Well, then here again, the good that it does those
On the
inmates,
same
training the
level. Yeah, on
dog,
the same
it's
level.
amazing.
Yeah.
That may be where you can measure it more
Yeah.
than any else are those inmates. If you
Yeah.
just had a 0 to start at the minute, how they were in the beginning and what they become later on, that might be
At the sheriff's
an
department.
objective way of measuring.
We had Randy at the sheriff's department. Now, that was not a trained therapy dog, but he slept with the trustees. Now, he's obviously passed away recently, but it definitely, I know when Ronnie was sheriff, it definitely helped them.
Well, Jordan, this is gonna be at your school, what do you think?
This is a dream come true because my guidance counselor has asked for a dog for 2 years. I mean, she really has, and I was like, we can't get a dog, too many, hurdles, and I just kind of put it off, and then when Dr. Phillips called me, I was like, yes, we'll do it.
There wasn't
We'll do it.
even, I asked her first, because if she doesn't have buy-in, we're not, we can't do that. And the elementary school is where we will start.
It
Yeah.
has to be.
It has to be where we start.
Well, when I tell you that Melissa Cooper, of course, she sent a form home with her parents to make sure that they were okay with it, but she's had a rabbit that just went around her classroom freely. The kids loved it.
Really?
They pick it up, they pet it, they fed it, they were in charge of cleaning up after it. They would be learning, and it's just moving around the classroom. We've had guinea pigs there, and it just brings a calm to the kids. Fish tanks, it's just,
And a joy.
yeah.
But it's not only
Middle
a
school,
help
high
to the
school,
student, it's a help to the teachers,
Yes. Yeah, you'll obviously have to find a
the
teacher that
staff. I mean,
really
where-
loves animals, like that's gonna be a first thing.
Positive
I don't
influence.
think you'll have any trouble finding volunteers.
And then you've got the children's center that has that dog, that
Sonny brings it in sometimes. the
you
kids
see
love it.
exactly how good it,
Yes, very
what that dog does with those children.
That don't mean that, as far as I'm concerned, that dog couldn't visit the middle school and the high school. That's
No,
certainly-
no, it can visit wherever we need it. So, I don't know, something to think about. I'm just thankful for the opportunity for, if this is something you guys decide, it'll be in the budget. You guys can either vote for it or not, it doesn't matter, but just wanna give you a heads up that it is there.
Well, of course, I witnessed it firsthand with Blackie and his little Shih Tzu. He carried that little dog everywhere. And everybody
Well, it'll
knew
be in
it,
the budget.
and they petted the dog, and it would just sit right there with him. And when he had the dog, there was something about, he could communicate with her.
A calming.
It really calmed. So I'm 100% for it. Of course, I've got
When are we
dogs
gonna
and
vote?
cats and-
It'll be in the budget.
Yeah.
When you vote on the budget,
Okay.
it'll be part of it. As long as everybody says it's okay today, and you have a copy of the budget with you tonight, so you can take that with you and go through it like a fine tooth comb.
And the main thing, Jordan, our school, they're 100% behind it. I'm sure the middle and high school will be too. So
Well,
if they want it, I definitely want it. I know
I'm
how,
for it if they
I
are.
know how they interact.
Now, my dog, if you all have ever seen her, she is a service animal as well. And
Oh,
yeah, she is.
Well, let's just save the $5,000 then.
She would not give her up.
She's lazy.
Well, it's
She
okay.
wouldn't walk off.
She wouldn't work the room anymore.
She'd find her spot.
Yeah,
lay
she just
down.
find a spot, find a kid that would pet her belly, and she just lay there.
She works the room pretty good.
Yeah, she does. So,
sometimes they wear out though, they get tired.
Yeah.
and they said
know where to
that
go. They got a place to go in every
they
classroom.
have to have a place to rest. It's just
Sure.
like a drug dog. They have to have rest.
How do they do that? Do they leave the door open for it to just roam in and
No.
out? Or
It's-
just different
yeah.
times, it goes to a different person each day?
Yeah, unless there's an issue, and then and like the schedule just changes and it's.
Some of the classes will go to the handler,
Mhm.
because she's teaching too.
Yeah.
And they'll go and they'll get the dog, and they have kids that are competent in handling them. They'll go get the dog, and they take care of everything.
You guys for it? Okay,
Yeah.
so, well, but they showed us 3 different situations. They had one that was housed in the library only, but that's only because that's, every kid went to that library.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's a smaller school, which we don't have, so that wouldn't work. But, and then we had one that had like hall duty and certain class duties. And of course, that schedule could change at any time. And then you had, gosh, what did the other one do?
Did it trade?
No, they do not treat.
We don't need it for cat tree, do we?
But I'll be honest, Wilson was probably my favorite. He did like to chew on doorstops. The fire marshal would have been proud. So, but anyway, okay, so off of that, I guess we need to hire some people, okay? So Zach Brown, Kim Burr, Stacy Love, Kelly Chitwood, Selena Mayberry, Jordan Sims, Jason Perry, Carla Boxley, Ashley Billingsley, David Clevens, Jacob Boshears, Crystal Boland, Kennedy Brown, Jaden Brown, Marcus Birchfield, Stephen Burrs, Sarah Christie, Caitlin Crabtree, Paige Cross, Beth Duncan, Jonathan Elliott, Madeline Franklin. Okay, take one of those off of there. The Crabtree, that one's a no. Logan Fultz, Morgan Gazay, Leanne Goins, Brian Hamby, Tommy Harness, Desiree Harper, Rick Harper, Joe Jeffers, Miranda Jones, Bo Kidd, Aaron Lambert, Brittany Lau, Heather Lau, Mark Martin, Michelle Massengale, Amy Morin, Courtney O'Neill, Vicky Payne, Alicia Siebert, Allie Slavin, Cheyenne Slavin, Krista Smith, Gretchen Stevens, Richika Strunt, Josh Terry, Mandy Tucker, Renee Vaughn, Kaylee Vasquez, Jessica Worley, Julie Douglas, Jackie Carson, Allison Mays, Paula Laxton, Katie Johnson, Kathy Buttram, Madison Baird, Jim Birchfield, Debbie Anderson, Renee Chitwood, Casey Bowling, Lisa Hyatt, April Jones, Barb Taylor, Andrea Marlowe, Lanita Boland, Stacy Boland, Addison Claiborne, Cynthia Crabtree, Brooke Crabtree, Kim Davis, Tiffany Davis, Beth Dunnett, Angie Ellis, Brooke Harness, Cole Ipock, Sierra Lawson, Donna Lee, Velva Phillips, April Ross, Mary Shaddricks, Terry Shaddricks, Crystal Young, Vanessa Birchfield, Peggy West, Catherine Bell, Debbie Creech, Taylor Hutchison, Michelle Anderson, Ayla Sims, Jacob Perry, Matt West, Jason Perry, Luke Barna, Will Bishop, Emma Crabtree, Jalen Young, Griffin Lafferty, Jacob Hamilton, George Klein. And thankfully, that's enough for tonight. Now, one of those had to be taken off. I don't know how that happened. So, but anyway, that's the hires for this month. There'll be that many next month. We try to break it up and make sure the personnel files are complete before we hire people, so.
Okay. Principals reports. Jordan.
So I know that we talked about third grade retention in the last meeting. We have found a pathway for each child to be promoted to fourth grade. So some are having to do summer school, some will have to do Encore. We had to do several retests, and those students came from below to approaching, so that was great, and they got the second opportunity. So all of our kiddos will be going on. I have my hires in place in early June. It's a really good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be.
Really excited about the people that we've hired. We got some jewels, so it's always a nerve-wracking time to make sure that you can find quality people, because you don't just want to hire whoever. So I am totally satisfied and excited with the people that we have hired. Summer learning camps going on at the elementary school. We have K-8. I think we have about 130 students combined. It's a good number for summer camp. And we'll probably have more when we get past little girls cheerleading camp that was going on this week. So we'll probably pick up a few more next week. I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the maintenance and janitorial staff. Not only do these people work around summer learning camp without complaining, because that's a lot of kids to have in the summer, but it's a big building and they're looking at it. We're making great progress, and I just want to make sure, I think sometimes they go unnoticed, and just make sure that we remember to tell them thank you if we see them out.
Very good. Kelly and Selena, which one's going to report?
Thanks. I mean, you're welcome to.
You're still official.
We're working this transition very well. It's been a great thing to have her come on board while school was still going on and to be able to help her transition. She's doing a wonderful job. She will do fantastic in this role. I'm trying not to just throw her to the wolves and tell her to figure it out. I am trying to help transition there with her. As Jordan said, summer school, we have over 30 middle schoolers at summer learning camp, which is amazing because normally we're looking at about 7. So I think that's phenomenal to have that many middle schoolers there. We've got our building. I think Mr. Lackey had them boys moving and grooving, and the entire middle school is finished except for the commons area. So we're moving back in, getting everybody ready to go. We're still working on staff placement at the middle schools, and some things that happened today, and we're gonna have to replace some other people, but we'll get there maybe by August the 1st when school starts.
Very good.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the playground. So I talked to DeWanna they were supposed to pour concrete today, but of course the rains kind of put us behind. Her goal is to be finished completely with her part by July the 10th.
Oh, yeah.
Or June the 10th, next week.
June 10th.
So then the turf company will come in and put down the turf, and that'll take about 2 weeks. So our goal right now is to be ready to have a playground functioning and ready for the kids by the inspection by mid-July. So when the kids come back to school, we should have a complete playground ready to go.
They told me 2 days.
Looking good.
2 days?
It's what
When
they
did you
said.
talk to them?
Yesterday. They said by the end of the week.
Okay, well, now that's her goal, but now the rain kind of threw a damper on things
Yeah.
today with us not being able to pour concrete, and everything has to be concreted. And then, of course, there'll still be some more, just groundwork that Mikey Butcher will have to come back in and kind of clean up and fix. There was a retaining wall that we didn't know was gonna have to be built, but, things happen.
Mikey's been great.
He's been
Kelly.
phenomenal. And then, of course, we're gonna try for a safety grant in order to put a fence around it, so that doesn't cost the district money, but not sure it'll happen, but we're gonna try for it and see, but that'll be a great asset to the middle high school, especially those kids, to give them some outside
Looking
space.
good. Okay, Sean.
All right, as you guys can see, you have the B team here, Miss Love's not here today. Her mother is turning 39 years old again today, so she's off on her birthday. And, but anyways, and happy birthday to her. She raised a great daughter and a good friend of mine, so things that's going on at the high school, right now, there's a big construction project going on. We're starting a culinary project, or culinary classes in our school, so there's a big swap going on in our, in what would be the old home ec room. There's some changing, they're changing out to industrialized sinks, industrialized stoves, industrialized refrigeration, and things of that nature, and all that's being laid out. I'm just glad it's more Miss Love messing with that and not me.
Who's gonna be teaching that?
I don't know.
That's TCAT.
Yeah, that's TCAT's doing that.
But they're coming.
They're housing in ours.
Yeah,
we're
And
using that,
White's
yeah.
helping us with everything, so I'm thankful.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're just providing the space, and they're coming in and doing that.
We don't have the money to hire a teacher.
Well,
So
like I
Doc's
said,
providing the teacher.
well, I was just thinking about the expense of the,
Yeah, he's doing
Ovens
that
and
for
And
us.
TCAT's doing that too.
That's
That's really
awesome.
great. It's a good partnership. Anyways, on to, we got a lot of sports going on, football's in full gear. We started up with that this week. Girls soccer is going, we even started summer baseball. Basketball's practicing, and everyone's just getting ready. All that stuff's back in full swing. And of course, they've already mentioned there's a cheerleading camp going on. I feel like that we should be on what's called summer break, but our parking lot's as full as ever. I feel like I've seen Dr. Phillips more since school's got out than I did before school got out, but it's just been extremely, extremely busy. And I too also want to thank the maintenance. There isn't anybody that comes in our school that doesn't talk about the cleanliness of our school and how good it smells, how fantastic it is. People are always shocked when we tell them what year that school was built. They think it's a brand new school. And I'm not going to breathe like he never complains, like you guys said, but I will say that he is absolutely fantastic and great to work with.
We should do a rotation with them every year.
No.
That was quick.
No, we're keeping like.
Now y'all know what I deal with.
We will fight over it.
And of course, we got summer school going on too, and you know, we moved Heath over to where our, over into the room where we was doing Spanish classes, and so we've got summer school going on in that class right now. And that's pretty much everything, which sounds like there's bukus of things going on besides that. Those are just kind of the highlighted things that's happening right now.
And he's doing a good job with, they've got kids that are completing classes, like I'm impressed with some of the
Yes.
things. I went up there today and they are doing a good job, so I'm impressed with the kids. So,
And it's a good program, like what she means with that is they're working on things like credit recovery, they're working on things that, you know, things that, they're able to accomplish through the programs that we got set up in our school through Eduity and things of that nature that is, and Heath does a fantastic job.
he
with
does.
that. He does. And that's pretty much it for the high school.
Lots going on, thank you. Any
Oh,
other
and one
comments?
other thing, if you guys want a blue tick to be there at the
Put me
school,
on.
that's what you know. Well, I just want you to know that, I want you to know that Erin, I bring my blue tick up a lot. She is actually, has the boys, some, not the boys, the kids, they taught some of them to bench show. She's been doing that through her, you know, like training of animals and things of that nature. She uses that to part of her curriculum. And so I've let her borrow my blue ticks, and if you guys need to borrow one, you're more than welcome to borrow one too.
Rent it.
Just rent it, try it out,
Rent it,
see what it's
yeah.
like.
And we don't have.
Whole lot lower price. It'll be what, Sean,
Hey,
$2,000?
I'll do it for you.
Pay more.
$1,500. See there? I'm saving you money.
Now, and I'm pretty sure the way he trees, he'll be able to open doors for you.
I just wanna say, we've got a lot to be thankful for across this county, number one, period. I mean, I know, I try not to speak too much, but we are so blessed to finally get CEP like the county. I mean, that's amazing, that's gonna be great. We've got a playground going up, we've got a gym project, which is probably driving us crazy, but, you know, it'll eventually get here. And we've got, you know, hopefully this therapy dog. And guys, we've got a lot to be thankful for this year. So, I'm
Well,
just,
I want to add that we also are very thankful that you found money in the budget for our supplies for all of our kids this year.
Yes.
They're not gonna buy, I was like, where'd that money come from?
well, that was
So
Mr.
that is
Mr.
awesome.
Brown.
Well, it doesn't matter that our kids are not gonna, you know,
Well,
our parents are not gonna have to.
At
pay
least
for that,
this
so
year,
I'm-
we're gonna try. Now, they'll still do wish lists and things like that.
They will, yes, but the basic
And-
stuff that we are supplying that, and I'm
It
very
is.
thankful.
It is just hard right now. Groceries are so expensive. Things are just so expensive. I just want to say, like, we are blessed in Scott County. We live in a great place, and we have great kids. We have great teachers, no matter what school system that they're in. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that we, you know, have that opportunity to have free lunch and get a playground. I mean, guys, this is stuff we've dreamed about for a
And a new
long
gym.
time. A
Yeah,
new
yeah.
gym, that's gonna be very slow, Jordan, I'm sorry.
I
She
hope
wants it done yesterday, by the
I
way.
just want it done before I
We
retire.
need it.
At this point, I'm feeling like.
You've got about another
The work
30
that
years, so I think
Zach-
you're okay. You don't have just 10. Do you really?
And I'm not gonna forget Kelly, our family resource tonight.
Okay, well,
She
Don't have anything on that.
let me see. No. So I met with Marilyn today. Of course, today was her last day. So Taylor will take over her role as lead nurse for next school year. And Taylor and I are gonna start interviews on Monday for an LPN for the elementary, possibly an RN for the middle and high school. We've got some kids coming with some severe needs, and it's gonna be best if we have another nurse at the middle and high school next year. So, that's all I have to tell you on that right now.
Very
Good
good.
job.
And we're happy to have Joe Williams from Anderson
Yes.
County, Linda Sharp from Scott County doing our board meeting tonight, and two Scott County board members, Teresa Walker and Carlene Perry. We're always happy to have you all.
Thank you.
Always welcome to come visit us.
Well, I've enjoyed working with Scott County board members now for 20 years. And it's amazing what you can accomplish when you work together. And I like to see, we've got two excellent school systems.
Yes.
And I told John Rose, I said, if you want to see school choice, you come to Scott County. You look how, you have pre-K, yes, we have one of the best pre-Ks around. It's even a model for Vanderbilt, and that kind of took him aback, he didn't know what to say. But we work together, and the kid goes where they fit. And that's the way it needs to be. And I want to see, I've always said, I want to see every kid in Scott County, no matter where they're in school, have the best education possible. Because we've had some to go and do amazing things and have scholarships all over the nation. And we just have to work together and provide that for our students. Another quick thing, Virginia Bruce is working on getting Oneida into the Arbor Day Foundation with trees. So we're gonna be looking at some trees around and try to beautify the area with some trees that she's working on a grant to plant.
We're gonna have a student from the high school.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I sent Aaron an email to see if some of the FFA kids might want to do that.
And now all kids in Scott County get free lunch.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's so amazing.
I know.
How do we do that this year?
And we don't, it's
Okay,
just
they just
based
did-
upon, you know, incomes. and
Okay.
We're just thankful. Now Kathy worked hard, let me just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy went through
Well,
she's
she
great.
worked hard every year, bless her
Yeah.
heart, and never could get
And
that.
the amazing amount of food that's being handed out to the families this summer is just unreal.
If families
so-
haven't come, we want to encourage them to come. We want every family that has kids to come.
If there's nothing else, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Second.
Adjourn.
All in favor?
That was a